Alright folks, here we are, back at the Premier League Season 5 Radiance Cup, the fourth of our cups, and we have the winner of Cup number 3, Alliance, in this, the first of two semi-final matches. We just came off two very epic quarterfinal series between VP and Roxkiss, and then between EG and Fnatic, but now we have our semi-finalists, two very strong teams, known for inventive, creative play and drafts. Alliance, Quantic. Here we go. Your casters today, Vykromond. I'm filling in for Blaze with mixed aptitude, I think. We've had some unfortunate technical issues that I haven't been too happy with, but hopefully everything's sorted out for this one. And casting again this week is TriumphOfMan. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm feeling pretty good, and I'm going to say if we don't see Tree banned by Alliance in about 5 seconds, I'm going to be very surprised.
I thought you were going to say you'd be cross.
I'm enjoying the Tree. It's funny. I mean, he's making teams just basically play a lot differently, so I have no problem with that at all.
Fair enough.
And, you know, I'd much rather see the Tree come to the field than something like, say, Nagasarn. Although that said, I think it's Quantic have been running the support Nagasarn, which is an interesting choice, and that means they loot. The thing I find annoying about Naga is when she's used the carry, she tends to just sit there and farm. Then when you try and fight her, she just pops her ult and runs away. Whereas when you're playing her as a support, she tends to use it for initiation value, so it promotes fighting, which is more interesting. Yeah. But anyway, we've got Alliance here. They're going to go for the double pick, and yep, the Tree was banned. Loda being a real Rizrak. Yeah. He hates that Tree, absolutely hates it. But now the double pick from them, and what's the bet? We're going to see Lifestealer, and then, actually, no, not Lone Druid. It's banned out. So after that, generally speaking, if they're going to pick something for Bulldog, it's the Nature's Prophet after that.
Sure. I think most likely Nature's Prophet X. The X could well be a Lifestealer. I would not be surprised to see that. But they still have options. I mean, the Chen is in the pool. You don't necessarily need to secure a Lifestealer this early, necessarily, simply because, I mean, Loda is happy playing a bunch of different heroes. We've seen him narrow his focus a little bit, so he has been playing a lot more Lifestealer recently, but he is a player that, you know, he loves heroes like Phantom Assassin, for instance, that can pair up with, say, a late pick Magnus. They've lightened up their focus on Magnus as well, of course, since the nerf, but Alliance still packs one of the fiercest Magnosauri, or Magnosaurus's, I'm not sure what the plural is, in the land. And still a lot of room for both teams, honestly. Alliance, actually, this is the farthest I've seen them dig this early in the draft. I wonder if they're not outsmarting themselves a little bit. Like, yes, Goblak is an extremely unpredictable drafter, but okay, he's unpredictable. Don't try to spend your whole time predicting him.
We'll see. We'll see what they've got in mind. I mean, maybe, for all I know, S4 could have DC'd, just doesn't know it just yet. As you see, Quantic has been having some issues there with the connections as well. That said, though, they are going to take quite some time. This through. That said, Alliance, they tend to, if they're going to do something tricky, it's not necessarily with the hero picks. If they're going to do something tricky, it's going to be with the rotations of heroes, which lanes they stick them in. That tends to be what they go for, rather than just trying to pick weird heroes to counter weird heroes. They'll just try and shuffle their heroes around and catch their opponents out in that regard. But yeah, there we go. Nature's Prophet. I mean, that's it's a long consideration for the Nature's Prophet. When we figured we were going to pick that up straight away, and will it be the Lifestealer next? Maybe they're just discussing which two heroes they really badly want straight up.
Yeah, I mean, it has changed. I mean, this 2-2-1 system it's a brave new world of picking. You don't get that room to just clear out 3 of the top heroes early, and yeah, all that time, and they just go for what I think Triumph was your first stab at what they would draft, the Nature's Prophet and the Lifestealer. In the end, they're like, well, let's not outsmart ourselves. Let's go for what we know best. Let's go for what works the best. And now, the onus passes, the bar passes to Quantic, I feel. They take this OD, no Treant support, but they still really like this hero. There's still very few mids that can actually stand up to the power of the Outworld Devourer, and that's an opportunity. Do they go for something like Razor in this game?
That would be an interesting choice. I mean, yeah, regardless of what they pick, whatever goes mid needs to not be in, like, they really don't want it to be an intelligence-based. That's it. I mean, they might just toss something like a Dark Mid again. I mean, that worked out fairly well, but we'll see what they've got in mind. It's difficult. OD is really difficult to lane, especially since a lot of the solo mids tend to be sort of those mana-dependent heroes who really want to be spamming stuff. Just thinking about that, I was almost going to say something like a Pudge could do a lot of damage, but then again, Pudge, just the Astral, I mean, you practically can't kill OD just because the Astral imprisons you and then walks away.
Right. But
they really need something that's not mana dependent and who can harass him from a decent range. Of course, one of the downsides to OD is his range is not fantastic, so he's really reliant on, basically, when he wants to move in the last hit, he really wants to move in, especially the early levels, move in, Astral imprisonment, get his last hit off, and then, of course, have his damage increased by your lack of intelligence and lack of mana pool. And then, of course, once he does it a few times, suddenly you don't have any mana to counter harass with. And maybe this is what Alliance for spending their opening move talking about thinking, well, Quantic is probably going to grab that OD. And we don't want to pick it, so what are we going to pick in response? Like, what are we going to have lane that? Because I don't like options to lane mid against OD are really tough.
There are not many, and the other thing is, as you correctly highlighted, you have to pick something not mana. Like, it doesn't require a ton of mana to be effective, but nearly all of S4's favored heroes require mana to work. I mean, he loves the Queen of Pain. He plays Puck. He plays Magnus, he plays Templar Assassin. Even the non-intelligence-based heroes that S4 likes to play need mana, especially the TA. Like, TA was just going to get obliterated by Outworld Devourer, really. So, Alliance really digging deep to figure out what they're... I mean, that was the idea behind the tree ban, was try to dissuade this OD pick, but Quantic are like, well, we still think we can win mid, even if it's OD no tree. And now banning the junglers to try to take out the... So the greatest danger to OD then becomes early ganks, right? And the Alliance can spearhead those very easily with these jungling supports for Ake. So continuing to draft very intelligently. I mean, Goblak, sort of considered a mad genius these days of drafting, and so far he's thrown Alliance for a loop. Just look how much time it takes them to decide on these picks.
I almost wonder if it's the kind of thing you used to do, like we used to see, it's a dual mids, is possibly the answer to OD. If you take two super aggressive heroes, like you say you take a pair of stunners, and you throw them in, like say a CK Lina, throw them in mid, and suddenly OD's got to stay in the hell back, because if he comes close, he's going to cop a Chaos Bolt, and Lina's going to follow up on him. He's going to take a ton of damage out of that.
Sure.
And they might not get him round one, but do that a couple of times, he's going to be in a lot of trouble if they keep that up. I should also mention the banning phase. I was wondering also Gyrocopter, possibly flat cannon, you can harass and CS reliably from a distance when you need to. Maybe possibility, but anyway, it's not that mana dependent either.
Right.
And of course, if OD tries to get aggressive, charge in, start hitting with Arcane, you can of course just throw down the Rocket Barrage and say, get the hell out of my face. And even the low level Rocket Barrages do a ton of damage. It's not that expensive either.
Yeah.
Bane being picked up though.
No surprise.
No surprise. Quantic love that a lot as well.
Yeah, they love this Bane. I think fucking Matt has played the Bane almost more than any other hero combined since this team joined up as Quantic. Like, he plays a tremendous amount of Bane. And not for naught. He's fantastic at the hero. Alliance, for a while, Nature's Prophet takes a pretty long time to actually get to the point that his auto attack is a danger. And Alliance are going to be hard-pressed to go for a third auto-attacking core hero. And Bane is ideal. The fewer sort of auto-attack dangers are on the other team. He can focus on Enfeeble and Fiend's Grip. So they do go for the Kunkka. This does give them another auto-attacker, and to your point, Triumph, it gives them one of the few options that really does not need mana to last hit.
And yeah, he can harass at the same time too. Of course, a cleave really, really painful. And the fact that OD needs to stay relatively close to the creep because his attack range is kind of crappy, that'll definitely help him out quite a lot. Should also mention that Quantic very, very wary of Aki. 2 respect bans against him. Get rid of the Chen. Get rid of the Enchantress. Make sure that's not available. So I'm thinking one last hero to be picked up will be some kind of support, and possibly EGM playing Rubik again in a moment.
I think probably Rubik is what's going to happen. In my opinion, Quantic, the Naga Siren, we can talk about that in a second, which you called it. There is a Naga coming out. I know you don't love this hero. You were like, well, I'd rather have Triad than Naga, and here we are, Goblak just moving to spite you a little bit.
Well, I mean, Goblak, he runs as a support, though, so I mean, it's a fighting Naga. It gets active, it sets to fights, people die, as opposed to Naga sits in the corner for 40 minutes, ices out items.
They do have the option of running it farming as well. With their lineup so far, it's an option. I think they have to ban the Shadow Demon, too, is my only point here, so more likely than not, that means Alliance does get the Rubik. Simply because if I'm Quantic, I don't know that I can not ban Shadow Demon and leave that opportunity. Yeah, because the dual mid now, that completely flips it on OD. OD gets crushed against that Shadow Demon Kunkka duel.
Yeah, definitely. Like, you take an aggressive dual mid that can... I mean, aggressive dual mids, it's 2v1. It's just not fair odds for just about any hero to try and take that on. So I wouldn't be too surprised if they're worried about that. And I mean, that might be... I really think the dual mids is still definitely a viable option. Just teams don't like it that much anymore. That said, I don't know shit, so could be anything here. But the last pick here, I get the feeling EGM is going to be playing Rubik. There we go. Yep. I do know something.
You're like 5 for 5 this draft or something, man. Don't sell yourself too short.
Yeah, we've got the EGM. I mean, this is good. Like, he's got a lot of good spells here. He can nick, of course, Bane is easy targets, but Naga Siren as well. That said, I mean, we'll probably see her use a song and then try to split up. I mean, she's got a couple of options here. The problem is with a song, if she does the song and then does the split to try and make sure Rubik doesn't get a steal, the problem with that, of course, is the fact that it gives Alliance a lot of time to run away. if she goes for that. But if she uses Song immediately and then charges in, it gives Rubik a wide open room just to try and steal it off her. So she's got a couple of problematic. Yeah, she's got a couple of problems to overcome there. How she's going to run it against it, I don't know. What sort of choice she's going to make.
So they have room for either a support if they go for carry Naga Siren, or a carry if they go for support. What about Dazzle here, Triumph?
Dazzle, I don't like. Of course, he's got some synergy. Of course, Naga Siren. If you get in there with a Song and then the weave goes down on top of everybody, that's massive amounts of negative arm. Especially when you throw in the extra negative arm for Riptide. But OD, a lot of ODs, if they're just looking for sheer auto attack damage, most of it's coming out of OD, and most of his auto attack damage is pure anyway. So
that's true.
I don't know. And like none of Alliance's heroes are high natural armor. Lifestealer and Strength, Kunkka, Strength, Nature's Prophet, Intelligence, they don't really have that huge armor value to really worry about, so I don't think it'd be a Dazzle, to be dead honest.
Yeah,
I think it'd be something
I should say that I'm not entirely impartial here. My Reddit flair is Dazzle. So they have run it before, honestly, in combination with the OD. They had that crazy OD Pugna Dazzle strat that they debuted at DreamHack in the group stages against Alliance. So if they do pick a Dazzle, we might see Alliance experience a flash of like post-traumatic stress or something. But no, it's Windrunner. I like this pick a lot. It gives them another stun, and actually it's quite scary. And they do go for the support Naga as well. So actually, what are the lanes here? Is this a farming Windrunner for Silent? Yes, it is, I guess.
I mean, if we remember the times of Yamata, the solo mid Windrunner, although she's definitely a lot less popular now in terms of soloing. She's a hero that does really well with a lot of early items. Not so much damage, but just like she's sort of like a prophet. And once you get something like a Hex, she suddenly becomes really, really painful. And she's got a decent amount of auto attack damage, and then having the extra disable on top of it, suddenly she's doing a lot. She's just really frustrating in fights. Yep. And she gets the Hex down, and then the thing is with the Hex, if she gets the Hex down first, it means she can wait for the shackle, not have to shackle something riskily. She can wait for that perfect moment, get the Hex down, and then angle for the really good shackle. Absolutely,
it can be a huge factor. And honestly, I can see this game going either way just based on the draft. Of course, this is a rematch of the DreamHack Finals. I mean, Quantic and Alliance just played that. I think this is these teams' first meeting since that series. Of course, Alliance took that 2-1, I believe. Quantic won their one game extremely convincingly, but Alliance, of course, perfected them the next game. So Quantic maybe with a score to settle this game. This is definitely one of the... I forgot the overlay. All right. Sorry about that. I should just set two separate scenes. I'm an idiot. All right, let's introduce the teams. Alliance on the Radiant. I think they want another perfect. I don't know if they're going to get it, but they're certainly going to try. S4 in the middle on the Kunkka, a hero that's getting more and more popular. Tri-Lane will be composed of Loda on the Lifestealer, Ake on the Keeper of the Light, and EGM on the Rubik. And then finally, it will be Admiral Bulldog on his Nature's Prophet, the second most famous Admiral Bulldog hero, up in the top lane solo.
And Quantic level, we've got Godlak there playing the Bane, Funzy playing the Outward Devourer solo mid. We've got fucking Mad there on the Naga Siren, Soksha on the Batrider top lane, and then Silent going to be playing that farming Windrunner down in the bottom lane. You're going to be taking Tri-Lane versus Tri-Lane here, and the question is how much pressure they're going to be able to put out here. This is risky. I mean, really kind of risky. Going into a Tri-Lane against a Keeper of Light is always dangerous.
Sure.
Because he can dish out so much freaking damage. Yeah. And if you get to a fight and then get hit by an unexpected Illuminate, like you think he's off somewhere pulling and then suddenly there's an Illuminate out of nowhere, that's serious issues. That said, they have a very dangerous setup. Their Nightmare to set things up. Net as well, also a huge problem. And of course, Riptide does a ton of damage as well as the Power Shot. And, I mean, they can land really easy power shots as well. Between the Net, the Nightmare, and the Shackle, so easy to land the Power Shots. And it does a lot of damage. For a nuke, at early levels, it's really painful. Like 120 damage at first level, that's a lot for a level 1 nuke.
This is the Riptide?
No, the Power Shot.
Power Shot, yeah. I mean, they have a lot of damage, and they have so much lockdown.
EGM's about to die.
Yeah, EGM is in a tremendous amount of trouble, trying to cut into the trees any way he can. The defensive Illuminate, this is actually kind of neat. There's the telekinesis onto the high ground! Oh my god! Naga Siren is trapped! Godlak is going to keep chasing EGM. EGM is just going to try to deny himself on Roshan. This is going to be a very careful timing. He has to make sure that Rosh gets the last hit. No! It actually is the first blood for Godlak. But meanwhile, I think fucking Matt is screwed! Ake is just pecking away at him. No, Ake chased off by Godlak. No TP for this Naga Siren. He's just going to deny him with the Nightmare. You don't see that every day. You do not see that every day.
No, I actually thought he might buy something up before he did that, because of course it does still cost him a little bit of gold, and of course all of his gold was in unreliable. He just TP out anyway. But complete and utter insanity here. EGM trying to suicide there, not working out for him at all. Wow. And this is what I mean, like the support Nugget, it's interesting. It does stuff. It goes and fights, gets stuck on cliffs.
It has huge damage.
Yeah, and now Aki now in a lot of trouble, taking a Riptide, and the negative armor really painful. He's down to -1. All that damage there. Windrunner hitting him really hard. Can she line up? It doesn't have Shackle, has Windrunner at the moment. But the auto attack damage really proving to be quite a bit. There we go, Riptide again. Gets picked up. Illuminate comes through. Not going to do nearly enough damage. And they will get brought down once again.
Sure.
But I've got to say, EGM, he tried to make things happen. Like, he got into a bad spot and then tried to make the most of it.
He did.
Dragging himself. Yeah, I mean, that was smart what he did. Baiting the Inaga side, almost rewarded them with a counter kill.
Sure,
and
EGM.
Almost suicided.
Yeah, he did very, very well for himself. I mean, you almost no supports in that situation would have gotten as much done as EGM did, and he was within a split second of actually managing to get denied by Roche there. So frankly, as tough as that ended up being, they was very close to making it work. And Loda, he's farming okay in the bottom. I mean, he's got 11 last hits, 10 denies already, so he's managed to deny Silent quite a bit already. That said, Quantic racking up the kills in this lane already. In fact, the support's only just now returning for Alliance. How do you see this try versus try, like, coming out after this beginning?
Considering the start, like, Windrunner now already up to level 3 as well. I mean, you show up against level 1 support, level 1, level 2 supports. Her power shot is so, like, they cannot get aggressive on her. Because if they come close, they get hit by a net, or in this case, Nightmare, rather, because they haven't got net yet. But they get hit by one of those, it just sets up the power shot. And then suddenly, that's a huge hit, 200 damage. That's really, that's like half Keeper Light's health.
Sure.
You really cannot afford it. And then, like, of course, Nightmare, and then fucking Man moves in, opens up the Riptide, just game over. Yeah, and look, they're going to go for it. There's a net. Here comes the power shot. Look at the damage come through Riptide as well. And Aki is almost instantly dead. Although it looks like they will get fucking mad as well. Open Wound's going to take him out. On top of that, Windrunner actually getting a little bit too aggressive. Actually, no, she'll pop the Windrun. Going to charge after EGM. EGM, though, going to eat his way through the trees. And I don't know about Goblak. What are you doing? He's trapped in the trees. Oh, a bit of a toss there, however, he will get brought down. Illuminates come through as well. TP out from Aki. Windrunner in 2 seconds. She should be able to escape, although fucking mad. Bait. Here we go. Riptide comes down. Loda, though, wisely backs off. I think they saw him. Let me have a look at the Radiant vision there. No, they didn't see him. It was just Spidey sense there making him back off.
Mm-hmm. And meanwhile, S4 during this time, he's actually last hitting okay. The thing you have to realize about this is he's jungling. He's actually doing the shadow feed thing, where when you get an opportunity, you go into the easy camp on Radiant side and just clear those creeps, because that is one place that OD cannot follow. So actually, S4 making the best of what is a tough lane, even with a non-mana dependent hero like Kunkka. Getting a few more last hits. Some of these are deceptive, since there's very low bounty on those easy camp jungle creeps, but it's something, right? And it keeps him from just getting dominated by the OD. So Alliance, they're not easy lanes by any means, but I feel that they're doing pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, considering the fact, like, picking up experience is always good. I mean, he's almost level 6. Consider OD's only just hit level 6. It is pretty good that he's keeping up that close. There we go. There comes. The Torrent comes in. Doesn't get his last hit, though. Will be imprisoned. And there are the denies. Always frustrating. However, he does have a double damage, doing a lot of damage there to Funzy. He's got a Torrent up in 1 second. Decides not to go for it, though.
Yeah, it's one thing if he has boat, it's quite another when he doesn't. There's just, he can do some harassment, but Funzy still feels very comfortable. Keep in mind, he has that Tranquils just to heal up quite a bit of harassment as well.
This is true. This is definitely true. We'll be able to heal up off that. Meanwhile, though, Soksha, I think it's the other thing we're going to keep in mind. Soksha is getting a fair amount of farm up the top lane against Bulldog. That's it. Bulldog's doing really well for himself as well. 27-7. I thought he'd actually be doing a lot worse than that.
Ooh, but actually, Funzy. He's getting
oh,
chased
wow.
very heavily. Nice!
Oh,
wow.
Wow. Double damage cleave. What can you do?
Not a lot, and S4 perfectly angling that. There's that Templar Assassin practice, right? Oh, nice lift on Goblak. Does he go to the high ground? He does. EGM making the plays, and Goblak goes down 5-3, and Quantic all of a sudden looking a little shaky. I mean, the DD rune was the only reason OD died, but OD died. OD didn't just automatically win mid. That's already something worth noting.
Oh yeah, definitely. Let's get to slow him down a little bit. It's always good. That said, the question is Kunkka. I mean, this is the thing, of course. Kunkka does not scale anywhere nearly as quickly as... Oh, that was a... I don't know where that one was going. That was definitely not on target, not even close to Funzy. But, I mean, this is it. Like, Kunkka does not scale anywhere near as quickly as Odie's. As soon as Odie's got Eclipse, suddenly he's such a huge threat. He can just pretty much give people, especially if he's getting those levels out as well. And of course, the Arcane Orb is always really painful. Once he picks it up level 11 or so, he will be huge. He will be really hard to stop. Whereas Kunkka just won't have that same impact unless he lands some really hard skill shots.
Sure. But we do see that as Quantic continue in this aggressive tri-lane but sans any more kills, they're starting to suffer a little bit for XP. I mean, this is a level 4 farming Windrunner to the level 6 of Loda, and even S4, now that he picked up that kill, a little bit ahead of OD on the XP. So, Alliance, they're actually leading about 2k experience, and that's a pretty good shape to be in when you were pressured this heavily this early. Quantic, do you think they just keep on keeping on, or do they try to change something up?
I think they might just rotate away a little bit. I mean, the biggest issue, this Triumph was going well, and they gave away a couple of easy kills that didn't need to happen. Of course, Godblack going a little bit crazy, decided to dive in under a tower and get stuck. So, I mean, had that not happened, they'd be in a lot better shape because they wouldn't have been pushed away, and they've also been in better shape to come in and steal as well. Come in and stop this, because this is the big thing that's allowing Alliance to get ahead, the fact that they're able to use this pool, and right now Quantic aren't doing a lot to stop them.
Sure. OD, just Astro Imprisoning once again, just to annoy S4, keep that mana low, make him unable to ship. Actually, a little bit of trouble. I wonder if Funzy tries. No. No Treant, no confidence to go dive tower, and that's honestly the correct choice.
He doesn't have either Orb or Eclipse. He's going for the full. He's going for pretty much a passive
lift
build
up,
there.
Meanwhile, on the bottom, Godblack in a tremendous amount of trouble again. Illuminate comes through. He is down. Another kill for Loda, 3-0-1 now, and you always got to watch out. When this Loda Lifestealer racks up the early kills, all of a sudden, he is a terrifying force. And sure, maybe Alliance's heroes don't scale that well compared to the OD, but can Loda just outscale the OD?
It's a tough question. I mean, if he gets... like, the problem is delivery. This match, one thing that Alliance are lacking that they normally have is a delivery method for Loda to get the lifesteal on target. If they can get him on top of Outlaw Devourer with his bash or with his, say, Abyssal Blade or whatever, he can probably tear him to shreds. But that's the if and when they can get there. Maybe if EGM gets that blink, sure, then they'll probably manage it. They can just sacrifice EGM basically to get him on top of it. Sure, I think it might happen, but if they can't, it's going to get kited a lot, especially with Net, especially with Nagasong. So we'll see. I want to mention that right now, if Quantic are going to keep trying, they need wards in here somewhere in this jungle so they can see what's going on. Because, I mean, they just got picked off so easily just by a rotation there through the jungle from EGM. They need to be able to see what's going on, otherwise they're going to keep getting picked off like that, and they won't be able to play aggressively or go and stop those pulls when they're being made.
Right, which is absolutely what they want to do. They want to sort of get incursions. They want to keep the XP from Keeper of the Light and Rubik from just coming out of control relative to the Bane and the Naga Siren, and that requires control over the jungle. Your natural state in the aggressive tri-lane is a little bit behind as far as XP, so something has to happen to make up for that or you'll really suffer, and so far, Quantic haven't quite solved that puzzle just yet. S4 continues to sort of jungle up this Kunkka. He doesn't go for confrontation with Funzy unless he knows that he'll be okay to do it, and I think this is exactly the right way to approach this lane, even if it is sort of a 1-0-1-3 lineup. The boat comes through, does not hit on Funzy, and actually doesn't even get the Coco's Rum. It does get the Coco's Rum still for S4. This is probably S4 just peels out of this lane once again. Meanwhile, in the bottom,
Yeah, I mean, on the bottom, they're probably going to pick off. Oh, wow, they actually pick off the Radiant Courier. Now, Windrunner in some trouble. Windrunner in 9 seconds. So Bane also here. Bane actually may end up regretting this a lot, but here we go. Riptide comes down once again. Aki taking... oh, no, they miss with the power shot. The Telekinesis comes up. The Silent taking a lot of damage. Nature's Wrath comes through. EGM gets knocked out, though, in the end. Now, Windrunner needs to hit Windrunner. It's going to get away from the open wound. Should be able to manage to escape from that, as they will also pick off Aki there. And now Kunkka's coming in, though. Kunkka with a haste room. Windrunner realizes she's in a lot of trouble here, unless they can get a net down. Net. They need the net. There we go. Lands the net on top of Bulldog, oddly enough. Alright then. I guess they didn't realize, of course, they didn't realize the Nate was in there. Now Nate's going to pick up a kill. And there we go. They pick off the kill there. I mean, I was about to say in the mid lane, they were going to go for that kill at the boat and the torrent landed on OD. Bulldog was actually porting in behind him in the trees, but because they missed it, decided to pull out.
Right. I mean, lifestealer delivery mechanisms, Haste Rune, not a bad source, right? And they do have two. They have two heroes that will probably go Shadowblade. I mean, Bulldog nearly always goes the Hand of Midas into the Shadowblade on Nature's Prophet these days, and actually we frequently see Kunkka's go Shadowblade as well, except in that last game, but he went Shadowblade eventually. So that's two ways that Lifestealer can get to the fight. It's not a blink. I mean, it isn't a blink, but it's something.
My problem with the Shadowblade is, like, I guess... I really think that Quantic are going to, like, they're going to be wary of, they're going to buy wards to defend, like, watch for it. Because, I mean, even without say, being used as delivery method, they don't want Kunkka just running in and just hitting them and splashing them at the right angle, just looking for those big crits. So they're going to make sure they're guarding against it. So that's my problem with it.
Sure.
The other thing, of course, if they see it coming, I mean, Naga Siren just has to hit Song, and suddenly everything's getting flipped upside down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
So that does
Song
bother
can
me a
make a
little
huge
bit.
difference, and he is level 6, so he has the ability to use it. The supports of Quantic actually catching up on XP in these last couple clashes. The Naga Siren up to 6, the Bane. Godblack heading towards Fiend's Grip sooner or later as well, but S4 remains a threat. I mean, he doesn't have the greatest farm, but he does have a lot of damage. Fucking Mad gets caught out a little bit here. There's the stolen Astral Imprisonment from EGM. Song probably happens here anyway, I think. There's the Song to slow things down. Wrath of Nature and Illuminate coming through, but it looks like Quantic feel comfortable taking this fight. Here comes the setup. Sakshka running in. He's got his lasso available. EGM, another nice Astral Imprisonment. Here comes the boat. They have loaded in the lasso, but that was a huge boat and torrent combination. EGM only just now dying while 3 of Quantic are on the ground. Fucking Mad and Silent just trying to flee out of here. There's the TP. Nice TP from Silent, actually. He'll be alive, but I don't think fucking Mad will have the same privilege. No. 4 for 1, and when you use the Song, you're expecting that you win the ensuing fight. You are not expecting that the floor is wiped with you. Excellent boat positioning and timing paired with the Torrent from S4, and do we add Kunkka to the list of S4 heroes you need to watch out for is my question right now.
I think you need to watch out for S4 mid-period. He's probably one of the best mids in the game as it is. I need to mention that fight would have been so much if Bane needed 6. Like the problem was, like they had. It's not like Quantic not having team fight. The problem was the Song was good. They got the setup, but the team fight didn't follow up because Devourer got smashed.
Sure.
He didn't get his mech off. Didn't get Sanity's Eclipse off. That would have made such a huge difference in that fight, and yet got denied because I'm pretty sure he got slammed by all the disables there from Kunkka.
He did. Both the ship and the Torrent landed right on Funzy. And you're right, no mechanism activation, no fight, really. Sakshka, I mean, he used the lasso, but it only locked loaded down for a bit, and even EGM stayed alive for a terrifying amount of time. Just, he used Astral Imprisonment on himself, and then by the time Song ended, it was up again. So he's just like, okay, I'll sit on the bench for a little while. I'll stay alive that way, at least. And he dies in the end, but he's the only thing Quantic get.
Yeah, I should also mention the Bulldog farming strong here. He's looking really good. He's second in terms of CS. Up against the Batrider, that's a really good effort there. And he has picked up the early Midas as well. Now EGM has decided to be the carrier there for... I guess in this case it's almost a bait. It's the delivery method is come and kill me, and then whoops, here's a lifesteal. Enjoy that. He's going to try and get Batrider to blink on him.
Maybe. Right now he's just rooting around the jungle, but I agree with you completely. I think we're going to see EGM sort of seductive Rubik a little bit. Show himself off as a tasty morsel.
Hips.
Exactly, shake those Rubik hips.
Oh, good God. As now we're going to see the Shadow Blade being worked towards there on Bulldog. He is indeed going for that mobility, as well as just sort of getting aggressive. Bottom lane, though, we got a bit of a fight. There we go, lassoed there. S4 in some trouble. Lassoed up, Firefly, and he will get picked off. Boat comes through. They're not going to hit anybody. It looks like they're going to keep pressing in, though. They will pick up the Naga. Actually throws the Naga back towards him, and there we go. There's Nakes. Rubik teleported him down to the bottom lane. Beans gripped on Loader. He's raged up. Power shot does nothing. EGM down strong. Bulldog's on the way, though. Can they get last hit in on him? They will do. Loader, they're alone.
Oh, nice shackle.
Out, decided he didn't want to, and yeah, great shackle. Eclipse. Boom, dead.
That's the fight that Quantic needed at the time that Quantic needed it. They were starting to sort of lose control in this try versus try scenario. Loda was unkilled, S4 was unkilled, and nice job. They pick off the Kunkka. The reason they lose the last fight, Bulldog actually shackled up. He almost won this duel with Silent, but now I don't think he can win it at all. He's actually in a lot of trouble. The tower gets the last hit. He was trying to fade, but unfortunately, Shadow Amulet, even with that buffed fade time, is not that fast.
I think he's possibly also still within range of the tower, maybe. Maybe just within range.
I think he
of the tower
was,
as well.
yeah.
Tower's
Wow.
Pretty good range. Yeah, I mean, that's a really good turnaround there for Quantic. They were looking like they were struggling, and suddenly, and all of a sudden, back in their favor. Gold is now in them, not by much, but still in their favor. Experience, not quite as good, though. 2.5k deficit, but down from over 5,000, so not a bad turnaround.
Actually, it looks like it's stabilizing at even lower than that, almost
Oh.
1k.
Oh, wait, no, that's not Sandy's Scope, that's Astral Imprisonment. Never mind, I got excited for a moment.
No worries. It looks like Windrunner has a quarter staff on top of 4 staff. I assume this is Orchid Malevolence. What do you think about this?
I have no problem with that. I mean, Orchid getting that on top of Lifesteal really, really good. And also the damage amp as well will help bust him down really. I mean, if you Orchid Lifestealer before he can get Rage off and then OD starts hitting him, well, he can say goodnight. He's gone. There's nothing he can do about it at all.
Sure.
As well as also the other thing, of course, throwing it down on top of Prophet. I mean, you get caught out by that. That's just, you're so squishy with the Shadow Blade build. You are so damn squishy. It's pretty much lights out as well.
Yep. S4, meanwhile, even with these 63 last hits, enough of these were easy camp jungle creeps that he actually doesn't have that much. This Kunkka, only about a little more net worth than Outworld Devourer, which is great, honestly, but a little less than where Batrider is. And here comes the pings from Alliance. Or actually, no, those pings were from Quantic. They're going for Roche. Quantic, a team that takes some very speculative Roshans sometimes, but they have better vision. They have better positioning. Bulldog picks off the tier 1 tower, so now they probably feel like they have to trade. Roche at about half. Do you think Alliance try, or did they just let this go? I guess they let it go.
I think they let this go. Just get the towers.
Fair enough.
I mean, it's dire side. You don't want to push into the mech'd up Outward Devourer. I mean, they don't have their own mech either.
Ooh, lasso.
There we go. Batrider going to jump in on Ak. Yeah, see, this is exactly why you don't push in on that. You can't see what the hell. Like, you got the blinking Batrider, you've got the mech, you've got the OD with Sanity's Eclipse. Really don't want to mess with that.
I agree.
And of course, if they get into a good position for the fight, they get in with a perfect initiation. Nagastone hits Song and they run away.
Sure.
Or they counter initiate off it.
Oh, the Song S4. He lands the Torrent, but it does not interrupt Song of the Siren. Very little does, in fact. And they might catch out at least Kunkka, possibly EGM. There's the Flame Break. S4 in trouble, taking a lot of damage. Surprisingly tanky. Actually, the Astral Imprisonment up on him defensively and up on EGM offensively, or vice versa. I'm not even sure. Torrent hits, but there's the Fiend's Grip to clean up EGM. Another excellent Frame Break. Sakshka very on point with that W activation, and that's another 2 kills for Quantic. And as you said, Triumph, usually Song is an anti-fun ability, but there it was used for the side of good. It was used to get the initiation off.
Indeed, I mean, this is why it's fun. This is why Quantic, like, Godlack do a lot with it. Apparently they're having some issues there. Who's that with the... Somebody's got a blink. Who is that? Oh, it's Batrider. I'm retarded. But he's got his Force Staff now, so again, more mobility now. Can blink in, grab somebody, then zip out with the Force Staff.
Yeah. That's 2 Force Staffs for their team as well, so even if OD gets caught out, OD no longer needs Force Staff, in my opinion, because he can rely on the rest of his team to reposition him, if necessary.
Who do we see? Was Navi? It was Navi who managed to do that? With the double Force Staffs, big saves on their OD? I think it was them.
They also, Navi, of course, now, the F-Blade saves are the new new meta.
I mean, I always used that, but yeah, it's always good to see it in action.
Sure. Well, it's rare that you see multiple F-Blades on the same team, too.
That's true. That is true. That's definitely true. I mean, my luck, I'm going to see it. Somebody's going to try and save me, and I'm just going to get hit by Lena or something. Just be sad. Be really, really sad.
No F-Blades this game, I don't think, though. Doesn't seem terribly likely to me.
That's true.
It's very sad.
Lifestealer. Let's see what he's got. The armlet on the way, getting fairly close on some stuffs on the courier. No, he's got the recipe. He's got the big expensive parts. Just a couple of small bits to pick up now.
It's not tremendous farm for Loda, honestly. It seemed like he might start taking control when he was 4-0. But he's slowed down a lot. He hasn't really gotten free farm in the lane. He's rotated a lot to try to participate in these fights, and he's died once, and his farm kind of flatlined. I mean, he's going to get that armlet. Loda, we almost always see him these days. We see a lot more Race Car Lifestealer in general, simply because it lets you set up open wounds for yourself rather than relying on your team. Could see that Sanjin Yasha again this time, but he may also feel pressured to go a little heavier damage, since Alliance's lineup right now, before items, feels a little toothless in these later engagements. It's only when they get an amazing ship that they're really... I mean, ship can turn a fight completely.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll need that much damage. I mean, they've got 3 strong... Like, 2 heroes that also farm okay and are decent. I mean, they've got Kunkka, they've got Nature's Prophet, who I think will be getting a damage item, or at least a Hex or something pretty good fairly soon. And they don't have that much at the moment to have to worry about. Maybe Windrunner later. Windrunner's weird. I mean, she can do a fair amount of damage, but not that much unless she goes for a really ult-oriented build. And that's just never happens in my experience. Just you never see the arguments just to try and make her ultimate work. So she doesn't really scale that well if she doesn't actually work with her ult. So, I mean, they're pretty much only fighting low OD in the late. And I think between Lifestealer and Nature's Prophet, as well as Kunkka, I'm pretty sure that they can handle him, because he's not that naturally tanky.
Sure.
And, I mean, he can dish it out, but he doesn't take it in that well.
That's definitely true. And they can, of course, Lifestealer, if he, with a well-timed rage, can just jump right in on that Outworld Devourer, and then you're really going to need those defensive Force Staffs to get the OD on out of there, because he has very few tools to deal with magic-immune players. I mean, he doesn't get his extra pure damage, he doesn't get his Sanity's Eclipse. It can be very, very scary. I mean, I think Kunkka, more likely than not, eventually going to build BKB as well. The only issue being, Alliance, and this is uncharacteristic for them, in my opinion, are really not finding all the farm they want to on this map. They're getting last hits and everything, but Kunkka still no Shadow Blade in particular bothers me. He's going to have it in about 200 gold, but still, behind schedule, I would say.
I think the other thing, like, often we see Alliance with a lot of extra farm is because they tend to get a lot of early towers as well.
Sure.
Like, of course, with stuff like Aki playing Chen and Chant, they tend to push a lot of early towers, where in this case, not so much. They've got one tower and that's it. Granted, it's the only tower taken so far, but it is 20 minutes in and only one tower. And in fact, Quantic gonna counter push now, bottom tier 1. Gonna knock that one out. So, I mean, if they had, like, 2 towers by now, you know, 2, 3 towers, they would have picked up a lot more in terms of items.
Definitely. And they've got 3 minutes to work with this. He just nice blink across, and Force Staff following up from Sakshka. Locks down Ake. He's in a bit of trouble. Fiend's Grip used as well. Wow. A lot of resources delegated to killing a lone Keeper of the Light. And now they're going to have to scramble for this top lane as Bulldog very close to last thing already. The Shackle doesn't land. Silent unable to lock him down. This is going to be a duel. He actually gets the last hit. Silent, I think, thinking that Bulldog had a little bit less auto attack than he did. He actually, yeah, he walks on out of here perfectly safe. Nice trade there. Keeper of the Light for a tower. Alliance are going to be happy.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not really sure that they need to blow that Fiend's Grip on the Keeper. Like you said, he's dropped so quick. He's got 2 armor, 2 freaking armor, and 680 health.
Low, yeah, they nerfed his base strength, right?
There's absolutely no survivability whatsoever. I mean, you just auto-attack that guy to death and he will drop so quick. I mean, you're practically dealing flat. Like, Windrunner is practically dealing 160, 150 damage against him flat.
Sure.
She could have just chased him down, auto-attacking him, he would have gone.
Yep. Armlet on the way to Loda on that Snowl, and the finished off Shadowblade for S4 as well, just intercepting that courier on its way to Loda, and that gets Kunkka in the game a little bit more, I think. He had an extremely good start. He was dominating early. And since then, he really hasn't gotten that much farm. He's gotten 2 deaths, but you always have to live in fear when you're against Kunkka, because Ghost Ship is just such a dramatic ability. I mean, 50% damage reduction, and a big stun, and, frankly, a metric ton of damage. It can be a huge deal. Nice Torrent on Goblak. This is actually a lot of damage already thrown out on Quantic. They may have to pull off this push after they get the tower. I don't think they pursue any farther.
No, they've already blown their mech. I really doubt that they're going to go, oh, you know what, they're going to do it anyway. They're going to heal up Goblak a little bit, but they're going to back off with the OD. Just jump. Well, that's it. He's got an Aegis still.
Yep.
I guess if they wanted to, they could have kept pushing in, just trying to cause a silly fight. But that said, Batrider is messing up in the top lane, doesn't have a TP, so he can't get to assist him if necessary.
Yeah. Funzy, meanwhile, just doing a little bit of ancient farming. He knows he only has a minute left on the Aegis. I think he actually stays in here to the bitter end, fighting these ancients, trying to... Nice little chuckle from OD there as well. Wow. Very smug for a guy that just intentionally killed himself. And he's, yeah, I mean, it's just farming. There's no reason not to.
Yeah, I mean, it was going to disappear anyway in a few seconds, so not a big problem. Smoke, though. Alliance hunting the enemy jungle. Will be fairly disappointed. Nothing in there. Yeah. Nothing to funnel. They might rotate to the mid, though.
Wow. I don't know about this. Honestly, it's good. I mean, once you clear out this top jungle, like you've cleared out both towers, you might as well try to seize control of it. I'm surprised they didn't choose to put a ward here or something, but that's okay. They still have smoke.
Do they have any?
They have Shadowblade, rather, on Kunkka.
No, I mean, they don't think they actually have any wards.
Oh, yeah, I don't think they do. You're right. Maybe they catch Funzy? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Gunzi gets picked up. It was Astral Imprisonment, though, straight away. Smart play from him. Will get away scot-free there. Although that said, Loda jumps in. Down goes Winter on a Fiend's Grip on Loda, though. Song as well. And that looks like they're not actually going to get a whole lot out of that. There we go. Oh, no, they've got the lasso there. Sanity's Eclipse Wall doing tons of damage to Loda. Loda will get brought down in the end, though, but big Illuminate comes through, does tons of damage. Down goes Batrider, and it looks like Goblak as well. 3-for-1 trade. Not a bad result there for just Loda.
Oh, maybe 4.
They're not done yet.
There's
I think definitely 4. They're not done yet. Look at that Illuminate coming through. Telekinesis, so much damage.
Wow. And an ultra kill for Bulldog, and that also a tower probably. No way they don't get tier. Oh, actually, no, they're still chasing. Goblak, he bought back. Do they catch him here? They've got the X. There's the X activated. There's the turret. Goblak, he bought back, and now he is nice. Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Okay, that was Wodota.
He denied himself.
That was pretty Wodota. But still being gone for 30 seconds.
Yeah, still a, not an optimal result there, but still, at least you denied yourself in that shitty situation. But yeah, definitely Alliance, 4 heroes, a deny, and a tower.
Absolutely. And Quantic, I just feel it didn't all come together there. They had to sort of scramble to answer, especially Loda coming in from the east, from the river area. they had to scramble to answer him, and so they doubled up their ultimates. They used the Song and the Fiend's Grip at the same time, and it just didn't, frankly, do that much. Sure, it's good that you lock down the lifesteal. They end up using the Lasso on him as well, but even with no ship, as they used the ship early to secure the first kill on Funzy, Alliance really mopped up there, and the scary thing now is Bulldog with that Ultra kill, suddenly he has Scythe. Suddenly, out of nowhere, Scythe of Ice, and that's scary for a team that has no BKBs and no prospect of getting them soon. Actually, sorry, BKB is up for OD, but... actually, that's good, because he's the main guy that needs it.
Yeah, definitely. But that said, early BKB means it's going to be a lot less effective towards the late game. And, I mean, he will need to watch out then, of course. Getting hit by a telekinesis, the wrong moment, boat, or even the Illuminates. I mean, the Illuminates coming in late, he's probably going to... If he activates the BKB at the start, he's almost definitely going to cop a full-faced Illuminate towards the end of the fight. And that's going to be a lot of health for him. He's not that tough at all to bring down at the moment.
Right.
So here, keep ulting up. Not going to go for it.
A little bit of just split push going on from Alliance here. This is probably an easy kill. No fortification, actually 2 seconds off of that cooldown. Actually, if Ake wants, he could try to recall somebody. They could try to make something happen. No, they choose not to. Just a tower trade, tier 1 for tier 1. An attempt at a snipe here on the courier, but actually, Sakshka lying in wait for Bulldog, and Bulldog wisely decides not to test his luck. Silent and Funzy, meanwhile, just heading off towards the top tier 2, and this is becoming a very global game of Dota. Everybody TPing everywhere, and who actually has the better mobility? I'm not sure.
I think without a... I mean, they've got the native prop. I don't think you can get much more mobile than that as a hero. True. We hear the song come out. What's the... Oh, it's just there we go. There's the anti-fun song.
Yep. Sometimes that's going to happen. I mean, I don't know. Were you at TI too?
No, I wish.
That's
no.
Too bad. But every time somebody used Song of the Siren, no matter who it was, what context, everybody would just go boo.
Yeah, I know, right?
Godlike in trouble.
Surprised. Oh wow, yeah, he's screwed. I'm actually surprised that because S4 was actually pretty close to that fight. He didn't get hit by the Song. I'm surprised he didn't actually throw down the Torrent on top of her to stop it.
Sure. Yeah, but honestly, another easy kill for Alliance, and kind of taking control, or in some respects taking control. Riptide picked up for EGM. He had the Fiend's Grip last fight, by the way, which was also a huge deal in that engagement. S4 Orchided, but really to no avail. I don't know at this point that the Orchid is going to be enough to chew through either Lifestealer or S4. Loda, of course, finishing up his Sanjin Yasha pretty soon. Only less than 1,000 gold off from it. Sakshka, he's fishing. He wants something. If he could just... Yeah, he might go for EGM. Nice 4-staff. He probably takes EGM to the high ground. Yeah, this is one extremely dead Rubik. Better than nothing. Not much better, but it's definitely something.
Yeah, I mean the problem with the Orchid, of course. Well, right now, I mean it'll pay for itself later, but right now, most that like OD does not have the doesn't have that much damage just yet.
Sure.
If he went for a Hex Burst, if he could pull off a Hex Burst, I don't think he could. I think the BKB was the right choice, but if he had that Hex Burst and someone gets Hex and OD starts hitting him, there's no way they're living through that. It's just so much extra damage.
It's a great point.
Just going to come out on them. But meanwhile, looks like they are... What's S4 up to? I don't know. S4 is charging around the enemy jungle. Just having a bit of a scatter around. Has one of his illusions checking things out as well. I mean, in fact, Naga also farming the jungle with illusions.
Actually. Sakshka leaping forward, but I don't think his lasso cooldown was up. Yeah, it wasn't. It just wards Ake off. And Alliance, without the Rubik, I mean, they can't really get this Roshan. It's another Aegis. Will they try to take advantage? S4 actually ensnared up here. Flamebreak comes out. The boat to save himself. Here's Bulldog and Loda. They've come into the fight already, taking that Aegis down. Loda just running around during the song time because, of course, he had Rage up. And actually, Quantic disengaging as best they can. BKB and TP out, and Godlike in a bit of trouble. Brain saps himself. There's the stolen Brain Sap. If Rubik gets this off, he goes to the high ground. No, EGM actually blinking up. The urn might tick down. They do pick off Godlike and an Aegis, so a bit of gold incoming into Quantic's coffers, but still, they can't win a team fight. They just can't seem to do it.
Yeah, I mean, they pick him off the Aegis as well as Godlike, and of course also, quite importantly, force out a charge on the BKB.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, Alliance definitely came out ahead there in terms of that team fight. Meanwhile, though, Tier 2, bottom tower, going to be pressured. Most likely going to fall. Oh, wait, no, they are actually mustering some kind of defense, although they are missing Bane. I think I'll just let this one go. Yeah, no way they're going to hold against that. We've got to keep in mind, though...
Sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, we've got to keep in mind that, of course, Quantic... If they just want to sit here on just defend tier 3, as long as they can keep some control of the map and don't lose complete control of the jungle, it's okay for them to do this, because I really feel like in the end, there is a good chance that Outlaw Devourer will manage to outscale them, but especially if Naga actually gets the minus, because look, she's going for a defusal now. She's got a Vanguard, she's got illusions. I mean,
Yes.
she could actually wind up as a sort of a backup carry here in a moment.
I agree. It's one of those supports that if you take it, you suddenly remember, hey, this actually has carry potential if the game goes very late. I think that's a good backup plan, but I like Alliance's plans too. I mean, S4, he was carrying a tremendous amount of gold. I just highlighted that on the stream, and now he uses it to buy a straight BKB. So 10 seconds on the BKB for S4, and now all of a sudden, OD doesn't have such an easy time chewing through that Kunkka.
This is definitely true. The BKB does neuter a lot of his damage fairly heavily. That said, I mean, if they need to, of course, they do have the Fiend's Grip, can keep them busy, and if they can get the song in there first, I mean, if they get the song down, time it with the Fiend's Grip as well, they can really lock him down very heavily before he can get that BKB off, so we'll see.
But then, of course, you don't use it on Lifestealer, so yeah, it's...
Yeah, that's true. Although they do have Lasso as well.
Right.
And they got a lot of
they do.
disables there.
They have a tremendous amount of disables. We cannot count the disable potential of Quantic out because you're completely right. Some of it doesn't go through BKB, some of it does, but in some they can lock down a lot of Alliance heroes. But the Lifestealer has proven problematic. It's been a fly in the ointment, especially when he just runs around during your song killing people. It's like, you're not supposed to do that. Go away.
Indeed, and now we've got Bulldog. He's going to be delivery method here for... There's going to be a delivery method here for Loda. There we go. Going to Shadow Blade in. And will he go for... They are going to go for this. Funzy now in a lot of trouble. They're going to open up the lasso. And there's your problem. Although Funzy now... Oh, mass TPs. Funzy in a really, really bad spot. Boat comes through. Funzy's still okay. There we go. Counter initiation with the Naga song. Are they going to try and pick him off? They will. They slam some damage there in on top of S4. Eclipse comes in. But only Bane is down. And we're probably still going to lose the OD. OD trying to retreat. One more auto. There we go. Imprisonment not quick enough. He will go down.
Actually imprisoned Loda rather than himself, but it makes sense. And honestly, Triumph, I have to ask, couldn't they just have disengaged?
They could have. I think they just wanted to fight, though. The thing is, they got the Fiend's Grip down, and they thought they could kill him. That said, the problem was Kunkka got the BKB off first, which meant suddenly no damage.
Sure, exactly.
Fiend's Grip wasn't doing much, and of course, Outward Devour.
Oh, silent.
Oh, wow, yeah. Oh, boy. There goes Windrunner. Force staffing out. X marks the spot, though. Trying to TP out. X marks the spot, though. There you go. You're coming back.
Yeah.
Silent.
That X. X, very, very excellent ability for... excellent ability for stopping those TPs, not letting the Windrunner get out. That was a very neat gank for Admiral Bulldog. A lot of times when you've just lost or won a team fight, you're like, well, okay, nothing's going to happen for the next 30 seconds or so. We can just stabilize, and Bulldog not letting that happen. In fact, honestly, Bulldog kind of growing into the story of this game in the mid-game. S4 and Loda, they got off to extremely strong starts, and then in my opinion, they petered out for a while, but Bulldog, in the meantime, has really picked up the slack. Now 7-1-10. His net worth is 6,000 above where Silent is on the Windrunner. This is a scary Nature's Prophet. This is a third source of auto attack damage.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, with the Orchid, the Scythe, even the Shadow Blade, and the Midas, he's got so much auto attack potential there. And if he just sells a stick as well, eventually picks up something a Monkey King. Dear God, he's going to hit hard as life. So it actually picks off Bane once again. Godlike getting caught out. But yeah, I mean, you called it.
Yeah.
You called it. That BKB makes such a difference in these fights because S4 had the BKB up last fight. They just couldn't deal any damage.
Yeah, and Alliance now, frankly, I think they can threaten the high ground. Keep in mind, they also stole Fiend's Grip, so they have it. Oh, Godlike still has it too. Wait, how does that work? Did he really not cast any spells since the last team fight? That's brutal, if so.
Yeah, possible. I mean, keep in mind, he died. I'm pretty sure he died before he could do anything, and then if he just came out, he's got... Oh, I suppose he could have just... I guess he just forgot. I mean, he could have immediately nightmared himself in the fountain, so...
That is, honestly, that could be an error that we have to watch out for, because... Oh, actually! X marks the spot! Here comes the boat! Nice defensive Astral Imprisonment on the Batrider. He manages to get out of the fight. There's a lasso and the song. Once again, not really synchronizing it, but Loda is very, very deep in enemy territory. Fucking Mad wants to make something happen. They've wasted a tremendous amount of S4's BKB time. I think Alliance may seek to disengage here. EGM still in the fray. He's used his Fiend's Grip already. Loda's still alive. S4 alive. Ake covering their escape with Blinding Light. Not enough to keep EGM up. There's the Ensnare. Sanity's Eclipse goes down. Lots of damage. Defensive Astral Imprisonment. Now Loda's in trouble. He has to try to flee away from this fight. Nice armlet toggle. S4 at least will be orchided and killed. Loda disengages and Quantic. Very nicely put together. Oh, wow. That nice long-distance power shot. Unfortunately, armlet toggling is a thing. And Bulldog, the final one to go down. 4-4. Was that 0 for Quantic?
I'm pretty sure that was 0. I didn't see any buybacks in the middle of that fight. In fact, just a quick check there. Buyback stats.
No buyback.
Yep. No buybacks.
Very
I don't think
nice.
they bought back at all, so yeah. I mean, I think the big difference in that fight was this time round when S4 BKB, they didn't waste damage on him. They just netted him and then just chased something else and didn't blow all their spells on something they couldn't really hurt.
Yeah, and Alliance ended up fighting one of the most uncomfortable Tier 3 incursions I've seen in a while. They were dispersed along this extremely weird parallel, all the way from the Tier 3 mid to the Tier 3 top. And it's like, well, where exactly are we fighting, and where are our heroes? Because, of course, Loda got carried, like, pretty much a country mile by that Batrider.
Yeah, and I mean, then, of course, they actually, this time around, they spent the Fiend's Grip on him as well, locking him down. I mean, this is a problem for Loda. He's got so much trouble getting on point because they've got so many lockdowns. I mean, even if he's got his Rage up, he's throwing net at him. What's he going to do? Lasso him. He's so much trouble. It's so much of a problem for him. He just cannot get on top of it. And without the delivery method of, say, a Puck or a Queen of Pain or something just to get him on target and to shut them down before he gets instantly disabled, it is really causing a lot of issues for him.
Yeah, and at least by the numbers, Triumph, we're back to an almost tied game, remarkably enough, as long as we've been going 35 minutes in already. But Quantic, this is now 2 times that I feel that the game begins to sort of slip out of their fingers, and they just get a perfect team fight to bring it right back, to pull it back, say, no, Alliance, actually, you don't get to just roll over us. We are going to put up one heck of a fight, especially if you try to high ground prematurely. And actually, Diffusal done for Naga off that fight, so you talked about that potential for Naga to start sneakily becoming a semi-carry, and we're not seeing it yet, but it's coming.
One more item, yeah, and she'll have some potential. The bigger problem here, of course, is just the fact Diffusal's annoying, straight out. You're trying to get into on the top of the right target with Kunkka, suddenly you get purged.
Oh, X.
And there we go, Song. Oh wow, prevents the combo, then walks into the boat anyway, but gonna get healed up, and they're actually gonna gump this by the looks of it. Here we go, Aki now popping his ult, gets dragged away though by Bat, throws down his ult as well, but here we go, Loda now in the mix. They're healed up, Alliance have been healed up there, S4 Nove netted once again, BKB not doing a whole lot from it at all. Nightmare goes down on Funzy, I don't know if that was intentional or accidental there, as looks like Bulldog though doing a lot of auto attack damage. Sandy's Eclipse go down, doesn't really take out anybody, he's trying to get out, Funzy is down, nicely done. Windrunner also on some serious trouble, Earn auto attack, he's going down as well, 4 staffed away, can he heal up in time? Windrun, the Urn is still burning, gets into the fountain, will escape there. Meanwhile, telekinesis there, Soksha now, Gem is down on the ground, they'll pick that up, Aki comes in, grabs it, and that's 4 down, Banana return, and they can take a Rax. Maybe not actually, no creep. No, mid-Rax, there we go, mid-Rax, S4 pushing in right now. They should be able to get this, 30 seconds.
OD has buyback, he might end up using it, but he doesn't seem to want to. I think Quantic realized they lack the buybacks to actually win a 5v5 situation. Silent, he gets sight, he's going down, now it's 5 on the ground, now Alliance take these barracks, and wow, just after that great fight from Quantic, that fight from Alliance, I mean, they just completely split up Quantic. Any sort of combo that Quantic might have wanted to pull off with AoE, they couldn't find the timing. I mean, Funzy waited and waited and waited to use the Sanity's Eclipse at the right moment, and even when he did, it just wasn't quite enough damage, and Quantic, I feel that maybe if all 5 were together and they had taken the fight they wanted, that would be one thing. But instead, they lose a set of racks, they lose a tier 3. Do Alliance keep fighting here, or do they peel out? I'm not sure.
I think they can possibly keep fighting. I mean, the big ult's down. There's no Song, there's no Eclipse, there's no Fiend's Grip, although 10 seconds of Fiend's Grip. I think they can take this.
They can't let this racks fall, in my opinion. It's just going. They're just going to let it go. Bulldog is going to auto-attack it down. It goes. They don't buy back Silent. They don't use any buybacks, so what do you think the rationale here is for Quantic? Just, we can't win this fight, so let's preserve buyback for the next fight?
Well, yeah, I mean, if they can't win the fight, they're just going to die. So there's no point losing your racks and dying and losing your buybacks and dying again.
That's true.
So might as well just, let it go. I mean, they could potentially come back. I mean, it's better than... Because the thing is, if they all lose that fight and die and then lose their racks, it's game over. If they don't die, maybe they can make something happen. Because Aldevar is getting fairly close to finishing off his Hex. Yeah. That's why the Sandys Eclipse is not hitting nearly as hard as we normally see, where it just blows people apart. He doesn't... Like, he didn't get that early Hex. That's been the big difference in this game. Yeah,
his int is honestly nothing special. Sure, he's got over 100, but just look at Bulldog. Bulldog's got 170 or so. Like, he's taking no damage right now from that Sanity's Eclipse. Even if it lands, it does nothing to the Nature's Prophet. It doesn't even meet the criteria to drain his mana.
And even Aki doesn't take that much damage. Look at Aki, he's at 88.
Yeah. So yeah, the Sanity's Eclipse, because of the early BKB that he was forced into. Oh, here comes another fight. S4 already BKBing up. There's the Song. Loda actually caught without the Rage, but Goblak already takes a tremendous damage just from the Wrath of Nature. They take the Aegis. I think it's a cheese, Roche. Who's the cheese actually on? Not sure. Silent actually gets shackled by EGM. Loda in the fight. He actually does go down. One down, however, for Quantic. The Naga Siren gone. Nice Torrent. S4. He's brutal, as is Bulldog. Quantic are forced to fight in the world's worst position. Goblak on the ground. Funzy still desperately sitting in here. He's got the Aegis, but Loda's back. Nice Force Staff from one of his friends taking up to the high ground, but EGM on the chase. I think this is OD gone. There's the Aegis. Will they go for another? Loda sitting on his corpse. They are ready for this Outworld Devourer. Shackled already. Big shackles. Big Abyssal Bash Chain. Nice defensive Astral Imprisonment, but yeah.
That's not going to save you, and there we go. I mean, that's game. No question about it. Alliance outplaying.
Alliance, I mean, when the chips are down, many would say that this could be the best team in the world. And Quantic, I feel they played excellently. At times, they substantially outplayed Alliance in the team fights, but not in enough team fights. Not enough to beat the farm, not enough to beat the rotations, and in the end, not enough to take out this semifinal match. Quantic will go to the third place decider, Alliance to the finals.
Yeah, I mean, Alliance definitely one of the strongest teams in the world. I am actually really looking forward to them facing the Chinese again at TI3. I know a lot of people have been giving the Chinese shit after losing to Alliance in China, but at the same time, I mean, they've been out of practice. Keep in mind, which teams were getting completely and utterly rickrolled leading up to the TI2, and what was the chant? Kick the Chinese out. Why are the Chinese here? I think there's plenty of time for them to get back to their old status as #1 in the world, and as it came down to TI2, TI2 definitely, you know, they took, what, 6 out of the prize pool places?
Sure.
6 or 5?
6 out of 8, I believe.
Yeah, it was huge. I mean, there were seven Asian teams. One of them was Zenith, and Na'Vi was the only Western team to play. So, I mean, Alliance, yeah, right now, maybe best in the world, but I think there's still a lot of competition from the Chinese.
Oh, I agree. I absolutely agree. And not just from the East either. Quantic put up a great fight here. I think they show themselves consistently as a team that can beat Alliance, and then there's a difference between can and will on any given day. On this Sunday, Alliance so far supreme, moving on to the finals to defend their title. This is the TPL Season 5 Radiance Cup. You can purchase an in-game ticket to watch all these games. You can get that on the Dota store, or for that matter, in the TPL shop on thepremierleague.eu. Let's take a quick look at that website now, as well as the social media. While I do that, your casters today, Vykromond filling in for Blaze. Blaze is out celebrating his anniversary. Congratulations to him, of course. And Triumph not celebrating his anniversary, so he's here with me. Triumph, you got any promotions to do?
Shit, I don't even celebrate my birthday. I'm that stingy. But anyway, yeah, you can follow me on Twitter. I'm TriumphOfMan on Twitter. Not that I'll use it that much. And also a shout out to LD, who's busy yelling at me to get Vic to fix the overlay. I think we did get that, didn't we? Pretty early on. I do it all the time too. I'm freaking hopeless when it comes to the overlay. So bad. I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's mouse versus EG. Yeah. Yeah.
Huh, I muted my stream. Okay. Well, sorry about that, folks. We'll be going up to the next game in just a moment.